Good morning, and welcome back to the 21-day series titled Embracing Your Personal Failure. This is day number 9. Reason number 9 we will be looking at today. What is the important reason for embracing our failure? The ninth reason for embracing our personal failure. It is always good to know that you are committed, that you are devoted to this channel, that you've been promoting us, you've been supporting us. We encourage that quite a lot. We thank you for that. And we ask that you continue to provide that support to us as well. Share the information as well so that individuals can join us in this journey. We are prepared to share with you the ninth reason why we should embrace our personal failure. Let's get to the presentation. Have you ever noticed how life has a way of stopping you just when you are moving at your fastest? You're rushing forward, you're working hard, and suddenly you hit a wall. You hit that wall and you believe you cannot go any further. A door suddenly closes, you lack the momentum, you lack the energy, you don't believe you can go any further than where you have arrived. You understand this is not where you need to get, but you don't think that you have any more in you to push any further. And the thought of settling for just where you are sounds so good to you that it's actually motivating to say, I have done a lot, so just let me pause, let me settle. That breaking moment is painful. It is shocking. It is one that forces us to consider how much we want the next level. But one of the things I've discovered is that it is also powerful. It is powerful because that point when we feel failure, that time when the symptoms of failure are so evident and are so enveloping, so embracing of us, at that moment, during that period, during that time, and sometimes it may be a short period for us, it may be a long period for others. The time span may be different for each of us, but during that period, we learn lessons, powerful lessons. If we are in tune with the time and the experiences, we learn lessons that success cannot teach us. We've spoken about that earlier this week, that there are challenges, there are benefits that we experience through failure that success cannot teach us. Failure stops us long enough to force us to ask the question, what is it that I'm missing? What is it that I'm not hearing? What is it that I'm not seeing? What is it that I'm not believing? What is it that I do not know? And it's very important during that time to be as specific as possible as you assess what it is that you believe you have failed. It is very important that we are specific so that we understand where we have failed, in what areas we have failed, what motivated the failure, how we are handling the failure, that wall that we hit, that mountain that appears impossible, that task that appears impossible. It is important to understand, or that task that we did not fulfill, that goal that we did not achieve. It's important to understand, why didn't I? What motivated me not to? What kept me going? What motivated me not to achieve it? It is important to know if success speeds us up, then failure slows us down. Failure slows us down enough that we can clarify, we can reflect, and we can look at the possibilities of what we need to do so that we don't keep repeating the experiences or the moments of failure. That moment when we need to go back into our awareness and learn the lessons that we had not learned. It is important to know that we live in a world that glorifies motion, movement, doing this, doing that, coming from there, going over there, a fast-paced world. And the speed at which we move, the speed at which we wish to get things done, we often find ourselves confused. We find ourselves taking very little time to reflect, to assess, to plan, and to re-implement where we have failed. We live in a world that is constantly on a move. And so failure is not an option for most of us, if not all of us. We do not want to fail in anything that we do. But constant motion can blind us. It keeps us so busy that we forget to ask, why am I doing what I'm doing? How beneficial is this activity to me? We chase goals without assessing whether they still fit the purpose of our lives. Because as we grow, as we journey along life, our values will need adjusting, our goals will need adjustments. And if we are constantly fast-paced, if we are constantly going, constantly building, constantly going through the different moving motions, we may find ourselves believing that we are really achieving when we may be setting up ourselves for failure because we do not take time to stop or to pause, to reflect, to clarify, and then to move forward. We repeat habits that no longer serve us. We may be in places that no longer serve us. We may be part of communities that we have outgrown because our goals are different, our projections are different, and we do not want to fail. Our motivations to achieve the purpose of our lives may require that we move out of some spaces so that we can achieve what it is we wish to achieve. Failure helps us to clarify. Sometimes success may keep us stuck to a path that we don't need to be on. Do you know that simply because you're succeeding in a particular thing does not mean that your life is being satisfied in that way? Yes, you may achieve goals over there. Yes, you may satisfy. Sometimes success keeps us stuck to a path that we were never meant to stay on. Failure then comes as the alarm clock to wake us up and to say, hey, you've spent a long time there. You've been doing this for a while. Have you considered that this was supposed to be transitory? Have you considered that this was supposed to be temporary? Have you considered that this is not your purpose? Failure then wakes us up. Failure then shouts at us. Failure then becomes that wall that we hit, and we begin to question the reason why we are where we are. Failure then becomes that wall that we did not want, we don't want. Remember, We don't want to fail. We want to keep succeeding. But failure, in the absence of knowing we are satisfying our life's purpose, failure then becomes that language we need to learn, that opportunity we need to have, so that we can reflect, we can clarify, and we can plan the next level. So we can regard failure as that pause button that we do not want, but we desperately need. Think about it. When everything is going well, how often would we wish to stop, to clarify, to reflect, and to fine-tune the next step, the next level, the next move, the next aspect of the journey? Really would we want to do that? We would prefer to keep going, to keep achieving, to keep fulfilling those goals, instead of stopping to assess how beneficial they are to us. It's uncomfortable to do that. It calls for much honesty, much honest reflection. And we don't always want to ask the tough questions and to reflect deeply on the progress of our lives. And the truth of the matter is, growth cannot come, growth will not come without honesty. Growth will not come without honest reflection. Reflection that clarifies, and reflection that motivates. In failure, we see the things that success will not show us. We see the habits we ignore. We see the steps or the shortcuts that we took. We see the habits we ignore. We hear the voices that we so often want to silence. See the boundaries we lacked. We see the insecurities we mask. Failure shines as a light. Failure beams. Failure is this beaming light that shines in places that we would dare not desire to look. And failure does this not to embarrass us, but to help us. Psychologists say that failure triggers what we refer to as metacognition. When we think about our thoughts, when we think about our thinking, when we think about what we're thinking about, failure brings us to that point where reflection becomes important, where spending time in our thoughts, considering the next move, assessing the previous moves, the previous actions, the previous decisions. Failure takes us through that process. Now, granted, you may say, do I have to fail in order for me to reflect, in order for me to clarify what I need to do? The answer is no. However, failure has a way of forcing, compelling, ensuring that we find ourselves at the table of clarification, at the table of reflection, at the table of contemplation, at the table of assessment and reassessment, so that we would know what it is we need to do next. And even when we are not 100% sure of what is going to work next, but we have assessed the past sufficiently much so that we can make a more appropriate decision for the future. I'm making the point here that the brain's way of taking us back, reassessing our thoughts, reassessing our actions, this does not happen when we are rushing. It happens in moments of contemplation, in moments of mindfulness, in moments when we self-attune, when we connect with ourselves, in moments of meditation, in moments of assessment and reassessment, that's when the brain begins to highlight to us what it is that it had noticed, it has been noticing, but that we were not paying attention to because we were busy rushing. Failure provides us with the opportunity to reflect, to clarify, to reassess, and to plan for the next step. There is also a spiritual layer to this. Divinity uses failure. Divinity has the autonomy, the arbitrary power and will to use failure as a lesson book to realign us with what is intended for us. Failure becomes that call that says, stop, pay attention. You are heading in the wrong direction. This is not my intention for you. Failure wakes us up, calls us to the stage where that instruction would be given to us for the next move. So let's make this practical. If failure makes room for reflection, for clarity, and for future implementation, we need to ask some practical questions. Question number 1 in reflecting is, what worked? What worked? What produced significant results? What benefited my life? Number 2, what did not work? Number 3, why didn't it work? Number 4, what part of me, what part of my life did not grow during that experience? And it is also going to provide us with the opportunity to know what dimension of our lives, what part of our lives grew during that period. Growth takes time. Clarity needs quietness. Healing needs stillness. The third practical step is important to me, and I'll share it with you. Failure, use it as data, not as identity. Use your failure as data, information that you can use to help clarify things for you, to help clarify your next move, and not as your identity. Your identity is not attached to your failure. Your identity is attached to the decisions that you make, to the lessons that you learn through reflection after your failure. Thank you for stopping by on day 9. We are glad that you did. Again, we ask that you subscribe if you haven't subscribed, that you do like, and that you also share our information with others so that together we all can move from the locations where we have failed in whatever aspect of our lives to the locations where we will not just succeed, but where we will thrive. Thank you, and we're looking forward to seeing you on day number 10. Remember that today, use your failure as data and not as your identity. Reflect, reflect, reflect. Clarify, clarify, clarify. But do not decide that your failure will become your identity. Join us again on day 10.